Tesla's earnings call was last week, and what a call it was. A lot of people look at it and say, wait a minute, there was nothing there. There was no news, but there was quite a ton of it. And thanks to Not a Tesla app, they've got a summary, which we will go through and dissect. And when I say we, of course, I mean me and Herbert, the brighterest man I know, coming in to shine his wisdom all upon us. We're going to talk about FSD. We're going to talk about megapacks. We're going to talk about all the things we learned. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Herbert, there was an earnings call last week. I don't know if you heard.
Tell me more. I don't know. There was something that I was doing. You and I both did for what, 4.5, 5 hours straight? Yeah.
It was a long day, man. It was a long day. Everything Tesla announced during its Q3 earnings call summary recap. Now, this is a pretty good one because it breaks it out and it covers a lot of things that I would have said, oh, yeah, I guess I would have overlooked that. FSD V14 deployed in October, integrating features from the Robotaxi builds. Big deal? No deal? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is a big deal in the sense that they're finally, it sounds like they're going to unify these builds because we had heard that the Robotaxi build was 6 months ahead of what we were all using. So finally, they're going to add that. Now, does that mean that Robotaxi is going to start using 14.2 while we're still using 14.1.4? Not sure, but this is great. I think that if they unify these builds, it just shows you the confidence everything's going. When I was at June, when they launched Robotaxi, I knew right away. I felt it right away. I was saying it during the live stream. This is not something I've experienced before. And now what it was this Mad Max version of the tool where the platform where it speeds up, like it starts right away, right? It moves fast. It makes decisions quickly. And so I think that that's a great thing.
I would agree. And by the way, I have a version 14 review I've shot. It is being edited now. It'll be out this weekend. But what is a complaint is that people are saying, oh, you can no longer scroll up and down your speeds. But what that scroll does now is move you through 5 profiles: Sloth, Chill, Standard, Hurry, and Mad Max. And so if it's going too fast, just pull it down an entire profile or two. And fun thing we figured out is if you want to move back up through the profiles, you don't have to roll. If you nudge the accelerator, it bumps you up a profile.
Interesting.
Because remember, all input is error. If you have to nudge the accelerator, we're in the wrong profile. Improved handling of complex scenarios and edge cases like meteors. Well, I mean, road debris, emergency vehicles, and parking options. Obviously, these are just slow and steady improvements, right?
No, this is the big one. I mean, we've been waiting for this. These are the edge cases that matter. But now that you have this, and you and I have been playing with 14, boy, it's like a game changer because now you just press the button. This is the very first time I pressed the button. Start full self-driving, start self-driving. Right when I'm inside my garage, it backed out. It went through my curvy driveway. It parked, and then same way to come home. Same thing. It didn't do my driveway on the way home well, but at least it has that capability. So that's a big one. And of course, emergency vehicle. This is one of those key edge cases that needed to be addressed, and apparently it's doing it really well.
I would agree. So I've only had about an hour on version 14 because I haven't gotten it to my vehicle, but it does handle the first few and last few feet in ways that the previous versions didn't. Expanded to Australia and New Zealand for AI4 vehicles with Hardware 3 coming soon. That's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. They're just reporting what they had done prior to the earnings call. This is a whole new country, whole new region, left-hand drive. This isn't just, oh, we're now going to Dallas, or, oh, we're now going to, another city like Waymo's doing. We're doing an entire country now. It's not Robotaxi. It's not unsupervised. No human in the driver's seat, but it still shows you the car works. And then you mentioned earlier about the meter. That happened in Australia.
Crazy.
Australian news outlet reported that this guy was using FSD. Good thing he was. A meter hit. It blew out his window. He and his passengers were incapacitated for several seconds, whatever it was, and the car safely drove and saved them. So this it's just crazy that the car is able to do that.
I'm confident that on my old Nissan, if a meteor had struck the windshield, I would also drive off the road. Maybe
Right.
not in a controlled fashion. Chinese and European regulatory roadblocks continue to restrict, but Tesla is working through them.
Gosh, that's an example of a great point that I did not remember them even talking about it. That's great.
Yeah. Tesla reached 6 billion miles driven on FSD in the previous week.
Yeah, why that matters is that, surprisingly, 9 years ago, when I don't know when the master plan part 2 came out, Elon said at that time through his analysis, they felt that once we get to 6 billion miles of FSD driven, that's enough data to get us to a version of full self-driving that will be so undeniable safe that that all global regulations would have to approve it. And that is where we're at today. So I don't know where he came up with this number of 6 billion miles, because it just happened now, as they reported. And this happens to be the same time that they're launching 14.2, which happens to be the version that is pretty well complete, that's going to get all of these regulators approve it. So it's just unbelievable that he was able to even calculate that and be accurate about it.
I did have a commenter ask me, wait, if he always knew it was 6 billion, why did he keep saying it'd be done next year all these years? And my answer to that is 6 billion is likely the figure for global undeniability, not market specific.
Exactly. Good point.
That's just my take. I don't work there. I am speculating. Let's see. Lower one-time FSD revenue recognition. So they're still recognizing more. How much do you think they've recognized so far, if you had to guess?
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that there was services. Søren Basher had reported on this, and I don't remember which of his charts, but there is a significant amount of revenue still, FSD revenue recognition, to be allowed. I think it's like 2.5 billion, something like that. It's under 4, but it's significant.
I asked our good friend Grok, and Grok came up with about that. Current deferred 3.8, up from 3.6. Of this, Tesla expects to recognize $1 billion in the next 12 months. Yeah. But I don't know
as they roll out these new features, these FSD features, then they can recognize it, and then it's still money to come to Tesla.
And you say, well, if it's solved, then why don't they recognize all of it? Probably because they can't recognize it in other markets until it's approved there, would be my guess. This is a critical inflection point for Tesla as it prepares to deploy autonomy into the world. Tesla is a leader in real world AI, unmatched by competitors. What does that mean?
Come on. You and I know already what this means. This is old news for us, but it's interesting that the institutional analysts, one by one, they're all now referring to Tesla as an AI company, a physical AI company. So these worlds matter. Real world AI, no one else is doing this. This is like an AI that's using real world video data and data, right? So video from robots, video from the cars, take that and be able to take action from that and make the cars move on their own, make bots move on their own. Everyone else is using data from the internet or YouTube. They take that data and then they produce LLMs. This is the first version of a real world AI out there, and we're unmatched. Yeah.
But more than that, they're not just, those other ones are not just taking internet data and producing internet data, because they're only producing it to the internet. This is taking real world data and producing real world controls. And that is very different.
I had this conversation with my wife. She goes, of course, NVIDIA is a great stock. You want to be buying these tools. And I was saying, yes, you want to buy the tools, picks and shovels. But for me, the application layer is where more money is made. This is when you could take the AI and actually turn it into real businesses. Examples, Robotaxi and robots. That is going to dwarf everything that NVIDIA is doing now. So NVIDIA has hit $5 trillion in the most, number one largest company in the world. No one's ever hit this before. I heard a stat saying that NVIDIA at $5 trillion is now worth more than any other GDP of any country except for the US and China. And it's like, what? But just wait till you see the true value when it comes to autonomy and to robots. It's going to dwarf that.
FSD and Robotaxi will fundamentally change the nature of transport.
Yeah. I mean, the point there is that it's not just about ride hail, which is the conversation everybody has. Wait until this replaces Robotaxi is going to replace Uber. But in fact, Robotaxi is going to replace all transport, even car ownership. And so that's where it becomes a multi-trillion-dollar market at that point.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is, if you look at when Manhattan was being built up, there were whole areas of Manhattan Island that were not very desirable. They're too far from anything. Well, a train is coming, and when the train station is here, it's going to transform everything. This little patch of farm grass is going to become invaluable. Shockingly. So, yes, disruption changes things. Elon says advanced software buttons should let anyone get FSD v14 in North America. But Elon says a lot of things.
He says a lot of things. And then everybody goes, but I turned on advanced and I don't get it. But then they did start getting it. I think what he's referring to is that 14.1.2 will be the smooth, most reliable version of 14. But if you want to get 14.1.4, press the advanced button. But when you get it, just realize there's going to be bugs. And the bugs are that it still does these micro braking maneuvers that people, and then you have all these people complaining, the version sucks. It does these braking when I don't want it to. You're the one that asked to get the 14.1.4. They made it clear at the earnings call. We're launching this now because it's a step change in capability, but safety is always our first thing we iron out. Then we'll work on comfort. Like these micro braking things will be removed by 14.1.2, by 14.2, that'll be gone. So just be patient. That'll be gone. It's an easy fix for them, and they know it.
I will point out that I am on hardware 4, and I do not have 14 point anything. So,
You'll get it.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
My Model Y doesn't have it, but my Model 3 got it. So I think what they're doing is they rolled out 14.1.1 or whatever, 0.12, and then they had so much people saying these things that they just slowed down the distribution.
Yeah. That's not, I don't have issue with that. It's Elon telling me to go outside and check my car. I think he was just trying to get me out of my chair. And I think that's a very sneaky way to force Brian into fitness. So what he should do is just play it on a loop. So I'm constantly running. I think that would be a very strange and silly idea. Ashok mentioned there is a decent progress on adoption, 12%. Is that decent?
No, it's not. But 12%.
But does it matter today?
I don't think so, right?
Yeah.
It's you and I both agree it's going to be like, it's either going to be 10, 12% forever if FSD doesn't really improve, or if it gets so good, you're going to see 80, 90% plus, even 100% at some point, and they're going to bundle it in. They're going to force everybody to buy it. So I'm not even worried about that number at all.
So because there's so many good things, we're going to have to start speeding up a little.
Yep.
Robotaxi, the service area and fleet have expanded. The app is available. The real app, not the demo app, supports universal scaling to future cities as regulatory barriers are crossed. These aren't surprises, are they?
No.
Austin has expanded 3 times since launch, 4, and it's on track to continue growing at a rapid rate, both ground covered and number of vehicles. And robotaxis blend into traffic, unlike competitors, which look like, Frankenstein monsters.
Where's the big ones? Where's the comment that we're going to remove the safety driver by the end of this year? We're going to expand to 20 metros or 10 to 12 metros by the end of this year. Where's that?
I guess it was too summed up is the problem. On Optimus, Elon once again mentions Optimus has the potential to be the biggest product of all time. Physical product? Oh, I agree. V3 to be unveiled in Q1. And will be a big engineering leap. Is that a surprise?
It is for a lot of people, not to me. One of the big debates I've been having with folks the last several months is that many people thought that they're going to reveal the version 3 at the shareholders meeting November 6th. And I kept saying, I hope that Tesla does not do that. They should reveal it when their production ramp is already on their way, which should be around Q1 next year. And luckily, that is what they did. Some people think that's a delay. I think that that is purpose. Do not show version 3 until you're ready to produce it.
I'm with you on that. And worth noting, I've also seen people say, oh, we're going to see X, Y, or Z at the shareholder meeting. They don't generally unveil products at a shareholder meeting. That's not what we're there for. But we'll see. Tesla's real-world intelligence being deployed for cars. FSD transfers its learnings and progress to Optimus.
That's a big deal. And then Ashok Goswami did a presentation that he shared on YouTube, an hour long, and he explained this. That was the the major conclusion at the end of the day. All these things we're doing apply. And he finally explained that you can't just take a world simulation model that NVIDIA does and these other companies, and I don't need those data, the billions of miles that Tesla's using. You do need that. And the same thing that they're doing where they're able to absolutely take that data and then create a simulation from the data and accelerate how fast it is. That's how the bot's going to use it too. So that's a really, really big deal, because a lot of us were like, based on previous statements people were making, we did not really for sure know if FSD really does transfer. And if it didn't, then Tesla's still ground one competing with all these others. But if it does, whoa, the bot program is way ahead of everyone else.
There's a bunch of reasons to be optimistic about Optimus. Tesla's engineering prowess being one, their ability to attract talent being another, their ability to manufacture like nobody else. Love it. All those things are good. Hey, let's talk about battery, powertrain, and manufacturing. New battery pack and powertrain for the 3 and Y standard. I mean, sure. Localized and de-risked supply chains for LFP and nickel. I don't remember that part, but great. And onshoring of battery production to North America continues with the lithium refinery and the LFP production in Q1. Oh, I guess that's what they were talking about. Yes. Okay. All good news. No surprises. Automotive margins have increased from 15 to 15.4 due to better materials and fixed cost absorption. I don't know about you, but I saw a headline saying Tesla profits down on price cuts. And I thought, I don't remember price cuts. And revenue is up. The gross margin for all products is perhaps a little lower, but I don't pay my bills in percentages. I pay them in dollars. So isn't more dollars good? And
the more important thing to be following is cash and free cash flow, and that's where Tesla is at $4 billion this quarter. So some of that's because of this one-time jump because of extra sales of the expiring credit, but still, that's how they run their business, right? Cash. How much cash are you getting? And because all that cash, they showed it in the last quarter results. That's what they use to fund all the AI initiatives, the data warehouse expansions, all these things. And so it's incredible that they don't need to get and get investments or loans. They're funding it based on cash flow.
It's amazing to me that they're expanding the way they are, that they're still opening more service center locations and showrooms and rolling out more chargers and building data centers and running the cash pile keeps growing. Tesla Energy, I don't know if we've ever talked about this a million times. Record 12.5 gigawatts of energy, up 81% year over year, Doc Brown. That number is just getting started.
Just getting started. It's going to go up.
It's going to almost double by the end of next year. It's going to be at about 20 per quarter by the end of next year. It will be lumpy, and gross profit increased to 1.1 billion, up sequentially and year over year. Unveiled Mega Block and Megapack V3. That was a little bit earlier in the quarter. Megapack 3 at Megafactory Houston begins in 26 with another 50 gigawatt hours of annual capacity. Any energy highlights. that are of interest to you?
I think I've repeated this a few times. This one guy was commenting and he's saying, I don't believe you guys. If you're just so full of hopium, you keep saying that energy is going to double or triple in the next 2 years. If you just said 30% growth, I'd already been saying you're right. And I'm like, okay, dude, they've doubled the factories. They've
Yes.
tripled the factory. Houston is going to go online next year. And then it takes them about a year to get to scale. So what makes you think that 30% is the limit? No, we're going to double the revenue. We're going to triple the revenue. We're going to, keep growing it as they build new factories. And so these people don't know what's actually happening and they make these comments. And what is energy's now, what, 10, 12%? I can't remember the exact number of revenue today.
Yeah.
Today. So what happens when they double it? What happens when they triple it? Just by adding megapack factories, you can no longer call Tesla just a car company. They're a car and energy megapack factory for sure at this point.
I disagree. I think Tesla is has the largest market cap of any burger company, despite having only one location with 130,000 employees. Inefficient use of talent. Megafactory Shanghai is still ramping, and as it ramps, Tesla will be less impacted by tariffs. Worth noting that this takes time. It takes time to get the product to the customer, electrified, fully paid, all that. If they stopped making megapacks today, we would probably see billions of revenue continue to flow in over the next 2 to 3 years, just from products already shipped. Mm-hmm. If you and I had a better product that we could build and sell, we couldn't ramp like Tesla because we couldn't front the money for projects in progress. Tesla uniquely can do that. They have the cajillions needed cash on hand. Forward looking, focused on long-term growth despite trade, tariff, and fiscal policy uncertainty. Yeah. And those things change, and they also shift country by country.
That wasn't really an outlook. There was no outlook. There was no forward-looking outlook. That was a hedging statement.
Cash flow all-time high.
Yep, $4 billion.
And like you said, that's because of the drawdown in inventory. They sold, 50,000 more units than they produced. That gives them a great opportunity to restock into the new year. And Elon mentioned that people see Tesla primarily as a car company. I thought it was burgers, but I guess, okay, you were right. You were right. I will say the one thing that I thought was kind of interesting on the call was that he kept referring to the robot army. And if you want to get approval, maybe stop calling it a robot army, because that's ominous. I don't know.
I think I know now what happened. In that analysis, they kind of gave you the summary of what happened at the earnings call, and then they have the Q&A at the bottom. A lot of the big information, the more detailed info came out from the Q&A.
No safety driver in large parts of Austin by the end of the year. There it is.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, single accident would be global headlines. I see. Okay, so guys, in the comments, what do we miss? What do we misunderstand? What should I have spent more time focusing on? Head over to Herbert's channel, find out how much brighter you can get, and everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots next week at the Boring Bodega after the earnings call. I'll be there. Herbert will be there. Will you?